Welcome to Math with Professor V. Here's your latest integral of the day. It's been a while since I did a spicy little trig sub, so that's what today's choice was. If you want to pause the video and give it a try on your own, hint, you're going to need to complete the square in the denominator and then do a trig sub. So I'll start off by completing the square. How do I know that's what I need to do? Well, the denominator, this does not factor, right? And then also I notice it's raised to the 3/2 power. So this is not a time to do partial fraction decomposition. That won't work. So usually whenever the denominator doesn't factor, you end up completing the square. And then usually we do trig sub. Once in a while you can just do a u sub instead. But we're going to go with trig sub today. So let's look at this denominator. It's 3 plus 4x minus 4x squared. And I'm going to deal with the 3/2 exponent at the end after I complete the square. I'm going to take the negative and factor it out from both the variable terms. And that's just going to allow me to focus more on what I need to add to make a perfect square trinomial. So this is going to become 4x squared and then now minus 4x. Plus something to make a perfect square trinomial. And I'm noticing all I need is to add a 1, and then this will factor very nicely into the quantity 2x minus 1 squared. And if you're nervous, you're not super good at completing the square, just remember you square the first term, boom, multiply these two by each other, and then double it, boom, and then square the last term. There we go. But obviously we can't just go willy-nilly putting plus ones wherever we want. We have to make sure we balance this out. Really what I added was a -1 because this minus sign distributes. So then I'm just gonna put plus 1 at the end of this expression, and now everything is preserved. This is the same expression as the line up above. All I did was subtract 1, add 1, so I added 0. And then, the loveliest part is yet to come. This 1 can be added to the 3, and now 4, that's a perfect square, minus, and then I have the quantity 2x minus 1 squared. So remember when we're doing trig sub, if you have a squared minus y squared, you let, yes, y equal a sine theta. You have to remember the 3 cases. So in this case, 2x minus 1, that's my entire variable expression y, and then 4 is 2 squared. So what's the appropriate trig sub to do for this problem? I'm going to go ahead and let 2x minus 1 equal 2 sine theta. That might be tricky for a lot of students if they're not super comfortable with trig sub yet and haven't done it this way. If you want, you could do a u sub first, but it's really not necessary. Okay. From here, I'm going to differentiate both sides because I want to figure out my new differential in terms of theta for the rest of the problem. So taking the derivative of the left-hand side, I'm going to have 2 dx, derivative of minus 1 is 0, equals, on the right side, derivative of 2 sine theta, that's going to be 2 cosine theta d theta. And then the 2's cancel, great. So then I just have dx equals cosine theta d theta. All right, almost everything's taken care of. The denominator I have, it's 4 minus 2x minus 1 squared. What about this x squared in the numerator? What is going to happen with that? Well, come back right here. We need to solve for x in terms of theta. That way I could replace the x squared in the numerator with some expression involving only theta. So 2x equals 2 sine theta plus 1, and then dividing by 2, x equals sine theta plus 1/2. That's it. Okay, let me rewrite the original integral right here so you can see before we make our substitution what's happening. This is x squared over, remember we completed the square in the denominator, it was 4 minus 2x minus 1 squared, all raised to the 3/2 dx. Okay, so what's going upstairs in the numerator? We have x squared. So I'm going to take this entire expression, sine theta plus 1/2, and square it. Sine theta plus 1/2 and square it. Good. In the denominator, you're just going to have 4 minus, and then do you remember who 2x minus 1 was? 2x minus 1? 2x minus 1 is 2 sine theta, okay? And that's going to get squared. So 2 sine theta squared. And then this is all raised to the 3/2. And then last but not least, dx. dx is right here, cosine theta d theta. So drop it down below, cosine theta d theta. How are we doing? Okay, good. Just focus, just focus. Let's work on cleaning this up. Then we'll talk about how to integrate. The numerator, let's just FOIL it all out. So sine theta plus 1/2 squared, that's going to be sine squared theta plus sine theta times 1/2 times 2. So that's just going to be sine theta plus, square the last term, that's 1/4. And then inside the parentheses in the bottom, I have 4 minus 4 sine squared theta, and that's raised to the 3/2. And then we still have cosine theta d theta. Okay, be careful. Don't take this 1/4 out. I often encourage my students to take constants outside the integral, but that's only if it's being multiplied by the entire integrand. This is not. So even though it might be tempting, please control yourself. Okay, in the denominator, the whole point of doing trig sub is so that we can use one of our lovely Pythagorean identities. So let me see what we're going to do here. If I take a 4 out, then I have 1 minus sine squared theta, right? And that's all raised to the 3/2. And then I can distribute the 3/2 exponent. So I have 4 to the 3/2 times, well, 1 minus sine squared theta, that's cosine squared theta raised to the 3/2. So that's in the denominator. So now let me keep going, but I'll clean everything up. I just don't want to rewrite the whole problem a bunch of times. So in the numerator, upstairs, we still have sine squared theta plus sine theta plus 1/4. Now in the denominator, I have 4 to the 3/2. Best way to simplify this, you take the square root of 4, whatever the denominator is, and then you cube it. So that's going to be 2 cubed, which is 8, times, and then over here, when you have a power raised to another power, you multiply those exponents. So 2 times 3/2 is 3. So I'm left with cosine cubed theta in the denominator, times cosine theta d theta. And then now the fun's really going to get going. So I can cancel this cosine theta with one of the cosines in the denominator. Now it's just cosine squared. And then this 8 in the denominator, I can pull it outside and put a 1/8 because it's being multiplied by everybody. All right, this is exciting. 1/8 integral sine squared theta plus sine theta plus 1/4 over, that's right, cosine squared theta d theta. Now what I'm thinking is, since the denominator just has one term, let me try to write it underneath each of the terms in the numerator separately. So we have 1/8 integral sine squared over cosine squared, that's tangent squared theta, plus sine theta over cosine squared theta. I'll show you in a second how we're going to rewrite that, plus the last term is going to be 1/4 secant squared theta d theta. Now let's go through term by term, see if we're ready to evaluate the antiderivative for each or not. Tan squared theta. Do we know the antiderivative of tangent squared theta? No, but I do know the antiderivative of secant squared. So let me rewrite tan squared theta using a Pythagorean identity. How handy for us. So I can replace tangent squared theta with secant squared theta minus 1. Very good. Then let's move on here. Sine theta over cosine squared theta. You could do a u sub. You could let u equal cosine theta. You want to know an even better way to do this problem? Let me show you off to the side. Okay. Sine theta over cosine squared theta is sine theta over cosine theta times 1 over cosine theta. And this is tangent theta times secant theta. You should know the antiderivative of tan theta secant theta. Do you? So if you didn't see that though, like I said, you could do a u sub. You would let u be cosine theta, not cosine squared, just cosine. And then du would be sine theta d theta. I just don't like doing that if I don't have to, because then you're going to have to break up the integral and do this one separately, because we're not u subbing for everybody, you know? So if I can just keep working within one problem, I like to. And this isn't so bad, right? Once you've seen it, you're like, oh, I can play with the identities like that. And then over here, the last term, we have 1/4 secant squared theta. Okay, we know antiderivative of that. That's no big deal. So I'm just going to leave it as is. Fabulous. Now, before we keep going, notice I have some like terms I can combine. Here's a secant squared theta, and here's 1/4 secant squared theta. Always combine before you take the antiderivative, so you have less terms to deal with afterwards. So this is 5/4 secant squared theta. I'll put plus tan theta secant theta next, minus 1. So it's kind of in descending powers, kind of. Okay, here we go. So we have 1/8, keep the 5/4, antiderivative of secant squared theta, tan theta, very good, plus antiderivative of tan theta secant theta, very good, minus, this is just going to be theta. And then don't forget, plus c. Okay, I know it feels like we've done a lot, but we're not done. Remember, the original problem was in terms of x, so we have to go back there. How do we go back there? We draw a triangle. So if you forgot, you look at your original substitution, and that was the one where we let 2x minus 1 equal 2 sine theta, right? You always want to isolate the trig function to draw your triangle. So I want to get sine theta by itself. So that means 2x minus 1 over 2 is sine theta. So I'm going to draw a triangle that satisfies this ratio here. So here's theta. Sine of theta is going to be opposite 2x minus 1 over hypotenuse. I can use the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side. And it's usually going to involve an expression that we saw in the original integral once you clean it up. So if I take 2x minus 1 squared and subtract it from 4, I'm going to get square root of 3 plus 4x minus 4x squared. Okay, so here I'm going to look at the triangle now to rewrite everybody, all these trig functions and theta in terms of x. So here we go. Let's leave the 1/8 outside for now. 5 over 4 times. Tangent theta is the ratio of the opposite over adjacent side. So I'm going to replace it with 2x minus 1 over square root 3 plus 4x minus 4x squared, plus, now let's look at secant theta. Secant theta is hypotenuse over adjacent side. So that would be 2 over square root 3 plus 4x minus 4x squared, minus, and then what do we do with just lonely little theta? Usually we come over here where we made our original trig sub. Once you have this trig function isolated, theta is just sine inverse, in this case, of that expression over there. So sine inverse of 2x minus 1 over 2 plus c. Whew. Okay, we're in the home stretch. I'm noticing these denominators are super similar. This term here is just missing a 4, so I'm going to go ahead, multiply top and bottom by 4. So I have a common denominator and I can combine them. And then if I distribute the 5, that's going to be 10x minus 5 plus, this is 8. So we have 1/8 times 10x plus 3 over 4 radical 3 plus 4x minus 4x squared minus sine inverse 2x minus 1 over 2 plus c. And then lastly, we can distribute the 1/8 through if we care. I don't know. Should we leave it outside? 1/8. Is it being punished? This would be 32 now. square root 3 plus 4x minus 4x squared minus 1/8 sine inverse, or arc sine, whatever you prefer, 2x minus 1 over 2 plus c. Woo! That was not for the faint of heart, was it? I think that's advanced trig sub for sure. So how tricky would you rate this integral? Spice level, is it jalapeno? Is it serrano? Is it like a ghost pepper? I don't know. You tell me. Someone commented earlier, and I'll respond to their comment, but they said they're having, some difficulty recognizing quickly which integration technique to use. You know what it is? It's just a matter of pattern recognition, and you get better at recognizing patterns the more you practice. So if you haven't watched this entire playlist of integral of the day, now would be a good time to start. And after you go through enough problems, you'll start saying, oh, these are just all iterations of the same concept. Once you get to that point, it's smooth sailing and you'll be really, really good at it. But you just have to keep practicing, okay? I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. And subscribe if you haven't already. If you need a review of trig sub or any other of the topics that are covered in Calc 1, 2, 3, then check out my playlists. And please follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Math with Professor V. I'll be back sooner than later. Love you all. Bye.